Western culture. How has the influx of Western culture taken place in the Pakistani context? Throwing education into the hands of vested interest groups within and outside society of Pakistan serves as fertile sites for the establishment of Western culture. And this Western culture has a hegemony, destroying local cultural and national identities through implicit efforts. So, what happens is that the education is now going in the hands of those people who have vested interests. They do not have the interest of education being imparted to the young people of Pakistan. There are people who do have this commitment, but most of the time we have noticed that now Pakistan is going towards a direction where education is being served by people who have certain vested interests. And these are the groups which have had an impact, a hegemony, a dominant influence on the culture of Pakistan. And the culture of Pakistan has now changed from a Pakistani culture to a mixed culture, especially in the big cities where these groups are successful, because big cities serve as fertile grounds for these establishments. These are the fertile sites for working and progressing in this field of education and having hidden agendas of bringing in the Western culture in the country. So, the word throwing is used here to show that the responsibility, which is supposed to be the responsibility of the government and the people, has just been thrown. When it is thrown, so it is neglected. And it is not being realized that the culture which is coming in gradually and is seeping through these establishments is not being recognized by the government and the people of Pakistan, that there is a high influence, a hegemony taking place, a dominant influence taking place in the society, and the society is adopting Western culture. It is destroying the national identity of the young people, and there is a lot of effort being done through education in order to bring this change, that the children of Pakistan, the youngsters who are belonging to good family educational backgrounds and are coming from good economic status, they who can make a difference, are being affected by the Western culture. The children are sent abroad mostly to get education, but this was also taking place many, many years ago. We have examples of people who went abroad, like Qaid-e-Azam, to study at a very early age, but he had the concept of national identity. He was the founder of Pakistan. He had the concept that Pakistan needs to be there, a country for the Muslim people to have freedom of all their practices. But unfortunately, nowadays, when people go abroad, the parents have an understanding that these children will either stay there only and work there, and then they adopt a culture which is totally against the culture of Pakistani ideology. The government is not making any progress in this field, where they need to realize that the identification of nationality build up in the country is very important in order to have progress in the field of education and all other fields. Only when we'll own a country, when we will own our national identity, only then we will be able to work on those lines. Only then the young generation and the nationals of Pakistan would realize that they need to keep their national identity, their cultural identity, in order to become better citizens and better examples for the world, and to have establishments in the country which would be representing the Pakistani national identity. So the government has to work in this respect in order to make it possible for the young people, even if they go abroad to get training and academic qualification, The government needs to establish organizations where these people are encouraged to come back and work, and then it should be the influence of the Pakistani culture that should be an example for people to be looking at those who are graduated abroad or are trained abroad to be having their own national character and national identity for people to follow.